We are doing the American Subcompact Car Battle here on the BST4 channel, 70s style. Cars up the battle, Chevy Vega, Amc Gremlin, and the Ford Pinto with the special guest from a Dodge car of the same year. And you Dodge guys gotta own up to this car. This never even made the cut. No one even knows about this car. We're gonna be judging by the worst recalls, crash test, handling, styling, reliability, and cost on base models and some more shit. Alright, let's get to the crash test. LTD versus Pinto. I really hate watching. Dang, I be cringing when I watch these. Look what happened to that car. Now you see in slow-mo, you see how the Pinto just crumbled. I mean, gosh, there was no coming back from that. Now you look at that LTD, it's toe up. That little car tore that car up. But look at the gas tank in the back. We can't let this car fly by no means, man. And the flames come, 0 points, bro. 0 points. To the next one, you got the Chevy Vega against the Chevy M. Pow! God. So you can see here now the Vega, the crumple zone is finito. The car kicks up in the air. I am sure that the crash dummy is finito in that car. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. And you can see this Vega. It looks like a Vega right now, but right now it will turn into a Pinto instantly before your eyes. You can see that right there. Glass is up in the air. You can see the gas, a little bit of gas coming out. Not much. Not much. Nowhere near like the Pinto. Definitely nowhere near like the Pinto. But you can see that the doors do not want to open on this, which is a little bit tough to swallow. But that was the cars of those years. And also right here, you can see that the gas tank was leaking. So we'll give this 2 points, no doubt about it. Now, we got the next one up, which is going to be the AMC Ambassador versus the AMC Gremlin. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to? God dang Gremlin going to win. God dang it. Slow-mo, who going to? God damn Gremlin again. We're going to give this 5 points. Gremlin is the best. Now, styling. Now, we got the Chevy Vega wagon. Now, the Chevy Vega wagon, it's kind of slick. But it ain't no Pinto wagon. But I do like the front of the Vega. The Vega is pretty slick in the front. I do like it. Now this is where this part right here, we don't even speak about that. We'll speak about that later. But in a two-door version, yo, the Chevy Vega is really, really sweet. Nevertheless. Now, we're going to check out the brakes on this joint. And we're going to see what it does. Now we're going to check it out. Yo, that took a minute to stop. I don't know. Them cars in the 70s that had no brakes. Now, overall in this segment, the Vega gets a 4 in styling and for brakes. All right, we give it a 3. All right, we're going to styling with the Pinto now. It is a really good color scheme for this Pinto. The Pinto is really not that pretty in the front, but the sunroof and all that extraness and the promotion on this made this a winner. With the body style, it gave you an illusion it was something else. It looked like a miniature pacer, but nevertheless it was a legit. The engine was the secret sauce to this whole thing, and we'll speak about that on another note. Now let's get into the braking. I think the braking on this was not that great. Now for the Pinto, I'm going to give it 4 points for on styling. Not saying that the Vega is a slouch by any means, but in wagon form, the Pinto is a little bit superior and it's sold for $30K at Barrett's. Nevertheless, now the braking, we're going to have to give this Pinto 2.5 in this video. You know, I don't know in real life, but in this video, it looked like a 2.5 type of thing. Now my OCD is kicking in. I'm going to be talking about this lady right here. Many of you guys who watching this, they ain't into disco, but we got to give this lady some daggone respect. This is a hooker who turned her life around and made some music off of her profession. Actually, she wasn't a hooker, but she was like an adult film skin flick chick at the time. And my favorite part of this whole song is that's my part right there. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get into the Gremlin. Let's see what this is all about. Styling, ugly ass car, but it had the best trim package.
Yes, orange stitching and buttons. It's even got the Levi's tab on the front seat.
The rest is pure Gremlin.
You right about that. Down to the engine. The engine had the straight six. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. But let's get down to the braking. Look at this. Look at this. That was pretty bad. Nevertheless, it's a Gremlin. So with that said, this car here was not that bad. I mean, it was a Hornet chopped off in the back with the bubble thing in the back with the sliding roof thing. I'm gonna have to give it 2 points only because it had a Levi's trim package. That was the coolest part. But the braking, I'm gonna give it 2 points also. That's just basically how I look at it. This car wasn't the greatest car, but it was made by AMC, which was a small car company. So, handling, let's get to it. Vega, sweet, look at it. It's rocking. It's rocking all the way up to the end. That was probably driver error, not the car error, but it's a wagon though. Unfair advantage. Now the Pinto is right through this thing so smooth, no big deal on the Pinto, which is very unfair. They should have had the Pinto wagon against a wagon or a coupe against a coupe. Very unfair advantage. But nevertheless, you can check it again. Check out the body roll. See, the wheelman got it now. This is a wheelman. Look at it. Yo, he's rocking that. You got to get this driver some credit. Now in the Pinto, very little body roll. It's not as bad as the Vega. Really not as bad. It's a look, man. The Pinto with a few tweaks, the Pinto is far superior in handling. Not pretty, but it gets the job done with the engine that it has and the suspension. Now we got to get the ugly monster. Now the ugly monster, let's see how it does. Same driver now. We're going to dip through it. Now he's going slow in this, slow-mo. A lot of roll. Look at that. It's not ideal. Man, the roll. Ooh, a lot of roll. And the wheel, you got to check how the wheel cocks out. It's not the prettiest thing. And the radius is horrible on the radius steering on this. It's like a daggone truck of the time. That ain't too good. Now, we're going to go to the road course. Let's see how this goes. Pure of that. Nothing but that going on that course with that car. You can just tell. Nothing but that. Now the Pinto, you know the Pinto's legit going in this little, but it's legit because of, you know, the small engine, the small car and everything. Now the Vega was very surprising with this. The daggone front wheel be kicking out, the Pinto kicking out too. But the Vega wagon is nice though. Rockford style. Pinto Rockford style. Pinto did good though. It's crazy. Nice style. But I think the Vega looked cooler in the video though. I ain't gonna lie about that. Now, the Pinto hit that corner. That Pinto rocking. Look at that. Nah, nobody's messing with the Pinto in the road course at all. But look at this. Yo, that Vega wagon was rocking. Vega wagon was rocking. You can't front on the Vega. So the road course status is that for number 1, Pinto 5 points. Number 2, Vega for 4 points. And number 3, AMC Gremlin for 3 points. Now we go to the engines. Road tests shown that the Gremlin was the fastest and the quickest of all of these 3 cars, but it had the lowest fuel efficiency with an EPA average rating of 21 miles per gallon, compared to the Chevy Vega's 22 miles per gallon and the Ford Pinto's 23 miles per gallon. And that was because of the inline 6. It was the best choice of engine. They didn't make a new engine. They ain't chopped the engine in half and made it 4-cylinder. They just said, you know what, let's rock what we got. Because again, it was a cheap automaker. We have to give them props on that. Nevertheless, gas mileage was not the greatest, but compared to today's standards, it's really not that bad. Now the Ford Pintos, the 2.3 Pinto motor what it had, oh my gosh, it was the greatest thing, but it was slow. Let's be clear, it was slow, but it can move that body of mass. You know what I mean? That it was good. You know, the 23 miles per gallon, people were eating that up all day. Now we're here with the Chevy Vega engine. Now we all know it's a 4-cylinder. We all know it's aluminum. Now Japanese got the aluminum on lock. They know how to splice and scientifically get that stuff right, Chevy probably used raw aluminum for their blocks and never even sleeved them. Or this was the reason.
There were labor disputes in those early years.
In fact, we had 17 strikes. 3 of them were authorized strikes.
The biggest was a 1972 strike over the speed of the assembly line. That walkout lasted 22 days. The 1970s brought the Chevy Vega to Lordstown, which would become known as the worst car built here. General Motors was trying to compete with small cars like the Volkswagen Beetle. The new model was named Car of the Year by Motor Trend magazine in 1971. But the Vega had problems with its engineering, safety, and durability.
He looks really pissed. He was the culprit who he was the one who set this whole thing off probably. But I'm just saying, but on a serious note, I think that these cars were self-sabotaged by the workers. They came in back from a strike. You think you're going to build a nice solid car coming back in from a strike after they complained about, hey, look, we're building these cars too fast. You want them too fast for little money? That's probably what heck happened, and some other stuff. Now, you got to think about this too. Now, they had a weird way of shipping stuff with these Vegas. Now, they were trying to save money. They were doing the Amazon effect way back then. So what they did, now just think about this. They start the engine up, warm it up, vroom, 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 let it run. All right, they drive it outside, and then they put it in a fruit position, like on a vine, a fruit on a limb of some sort, just dangling down, right? And the oil is in it. Now the contraction of the metal and the gravity, just think about that. That's a possibility why that engine didn't really serve what it was supposed to serve. It probably would have worked worked better if they didn't do that kind of method. I think maybe. You guys leave a comment below on that part of the thing. I mean, yes, the engine was bad, but think about the way they were shipping it. I mean, look at that. Like vampires inside the goddamn freight train. I mean, it looked crazy. Now, we're going to get to, all right, with the recalls, the Vega gets a 0 because you couldn't even drive the daggone car. The car was like, you couldn't drive it. Now, the Pinto, you can drive it until you get hit. So I'll give it a 3, but it should get a 0 on that recall. Gremlin, I'm going to give a 2, only because when it happened, it crippled them. Because it recalled all their inline 6s, Jeeps, all of that. So think about the mail trucks at the time. Yo, they recalled them, and that crippled them. That recall crippled them. Really, they never recovered after that. The final points results is Vega 13, Pinto 13.5, and Gremlin 14. So the Gremlin won in this video, but overall the Pinto won. But to be honest, the Gremlin would have been a solid car if they had better promotion, if they had a better looks. You know what I mean? That back half of it was ugly. The front was okay. It's just the back half. They should have stayed and figured that out a little bit and get the suspension right. And then that car would have been hit. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Build Something TV, man. Hope you guys were enlightened in some kind of way. Sorry for the video to be so long, man. Now we're going to leave you with this Dodge Cricket. See you guys on the next video. Later.
And now, a new entry in the subcompact field, the little car that can.
Here comes Cricket, coming through. Chrysler Plymouth, coming through.
New Cricket from Plymouth has 4 doors and gives you family-sized room. Gives you good gas economy. And things you can't get in some other import-sized cars, like power disc brakes in front, standard. Big 14 cubic foot trunk. And Cricket is Chrysler engineered, Chrysler built. Cricket, only $19.15, manufacturer's suggested retail price, excluding state and local taxes, destination and suggested dealer new car preparation charges.